right, good morning, good afternoon. Intro to art. Sorry about that. Getting a couple screens set up here. I think we are good to go. I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet since you guys already know what's going on. I mentioned to you guys yesterday that I wasn't going to be in class, and in preparation for that, I've already printed up the packet of paper. Actually, it's only two sheets of paper, but it's front and back on one side, and then a second sheet is stapled to it. But it's basically going to look like this. Three poses on each sheet, continued all the way through, and as you can see, I've already sort of jotted down and traced out the first version of this, but there's a couple guidelines that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of before you start going through the day and tracing these images out. You'll notice that I did number these for you at the top of the piece of paper so that you can keep everything in track when you go through and start actually tracing these. But I'm going to recommend that you guys do something. I know the shortcut way out of this is to take one sheet of paper and trace three of them. That is three of the poses next to each other. So 1, 2, 3. Don't do that. Do not do that. You'll run into issues when it comes to photographing because the poses will be too close to each other, and you won't be able to edit them out later on in the photo. I'm sorry, not in Photoshop, in the computer. The other thing that I would recommend to you guys is as you go about doing this, you can see I already kind of traced out number one. I'll put these side by side so you can see. Side by side. There they are. Make sure that when you trace them, you do actually pay attention to the arms that are shaded. Now, I did this with a ballpoint pen. Excuse me, there it is, ballpoint pen. It's not the best material to use, but it does show up on the screen pretty well. I'm not looking for you guys to pay really close attention to how well you shade everything in, as long as you can see exactly which side is furthest back as opposed to which side is closest to the viewer. You can see right here there are some smudges, so I would recommend using probably a pencil or something like that. But this is important because as the pose goes on, you'll notice the shading usually is the back side. As soon as you flip over to the front side, okay, this arm is not the one that's shaded. Actually, the one in the front is the one that's shaded, and the one that's now further back, and this foot will come up in another pose up here. Here we go, 7, 8, and 9. These feet are the ones that are shaded. So pay attention very closely. I think also another little tip and trick that you guys can use that will help you out when photographing is to put the number of the pose inside the corner. It's not so close to the image that it would be picked up when you go to take a picture of it with your smartphone, but down in the corner so that you can keep these separate. Now, when you guys do go to take photographs of this in your smartphone, it doesn't really matter how you go about doing that. I would recommend trying to make sure that you get at least the same view on all of them, even though we can crop these down in Photoshop or with the computer using other programs. Try to make sure that you don't have too much of a glare around it, not too much of a shadow. I'll try to show you, by me putting my phone right above, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of shadow over here on the left-hand side. Try to make sure that the lighting is relatively the same on all 9 photographs that you're taking. Again, we're going to be using this when you guys come back, or when I come back. I'm sorry, we're going to be using this when I come back. So unfortunately, if there is anybody who's absent today, or for those of you guys that take your time on this, you will have to kind of be working with whatever it is you get done, or you'll be spending time making this up. But Wednesday when I return, we're going to take these digital photos that you take and put them into the computer so that you can actually see them working and see them animated as is. So good luck. I'll see you guys upon returning. Make sure that each one of these drawings is on a separate sheet of paper. So there's 9 poses. There should be 9 pieces of tracing paper, and I've already set that out. The sub knows where that stuff is at. You guys can use as much as you need, but make sure you at least have 9. All right? I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.